هنيئا لإبراهيم لاح هلاله هلال بدا للناظرين جماله هلال ربيع فيه جاء محمد فتم لنا البشرى وعم نواله
yéen tale bàyyi fu ngeen mën ci nekk fond baa ngi nii taxaw na te liggéey na liggéey yoo xam ne gis nañ ko fuñ daan sonne di ko dajale addiya pour shérif yi nangam ak nangam ak nangam yooyu yëpp fond bi tëj na ko def na ko taxaw na fa taxawaay yoo xam ne noppal na nit ñu bëri donc bon fond bi daf fee war a nekk maa ngi leen di wooyee ñëpp taalibe yëpp ñu xam ne fond bi digalal bàyyi la ah digalal bàyyi la maa ngi leen di xamal ne fond bi itam ndimbal la ci bàyyi maa ngi leen di xamal ne fond bi ndimbal la pour taalibe bàyyi yëpp itam gis ngeen bon ne fond bi liggéey pour dolleeku liggéey pour taxaw liggéey pour wane ne mën nga dara mën ngaa yokk dara loolu moo tax a jóg fond bi am na lu mu def loo xam ne gis nañ ko école bi ci la bokk gan yu tedd yi ñuy teral ci lañ bokk ak bibliothèque bi ñuy tabax ci la bokk kuy tabaxu nag foog nga am dara kuy am dara nag yaay génne dara te buñ ko defee dinañ gis barke boo xam ne géntuñ ko woon man maa leen ko wax waaw du man maa ko wax sax waaye Baye moo ko wax.
fond bii nag yëkkati nañ ko ngir Baye heure bi ko def ci Medina sos ko ci Medina te heure yi ñu ko gën a soxla ci Medina la bokk. li Baye gën a fonk ci àddina mooy jumaam ji ak école am bi te jumaa ji man boobu mën naa koo seede ndax daaw ci heure bii nii mun nañ ma indilee ci 10 millions boobu ba pare jënd ci itam lu mat fukki climatiseur yu armoire yu taxaw yi loolu itam bokk na ci li nga xam ne fond bi mu ci dimbale mu gaaw kon nag kii njëriñam ñëpp xam nañ ko fi mu nekk kon kuñ ci oo rek war ngaa def.
taalibe Cheikh foo ko fekk daa war a yore kurus sa loxo ba ndax daa bokk ca mandarga ba ñu leen di xàmmee yow mi bëgg ay kurus yu rafet taaru lool ba noppi garante kaay ma wax la place boo xam ne ci Sénégal soo fa demee lépp loo soxla ci xeetu kurus am nañu ko waaw Cissé et Frères 15 Rajab business ñooy place bi leen di jaay ay kurus original kurus yu bàyyi ko Maroc Dubaï Égypte Cissé et Frères 15 Rajab business ñu ngi ci Parcelles Assainies unité 21 waaye ci jamonoy gàmmu gi nag ñu ngi ci biir Medina Baye ci bërëb yi mu lay waxal grande mosquée bu Medina Baye daara Serigne Daaru Omar Lo wala kër professeur Oustaz Moussa Diouf Tivaouane itam suñu ay ndaw ñu ngi fa Cissé et Frères 15 Rajab business dañuy def livraison partout ci Sénégal maanaam fépp foo mënti nekk ci Sénégal soo jëndee mën nañu la ko yónnee ba mu yegg ci yow Cissé et Frères 15 Rajab business jokkale na ñoom ci numéro téléphone yi 77 387 93 05 wala 70 791 91 40 Cissé et Frères 15 Rajab business mi ci kurus yu baax yi moo leen di ñaanal gàmmu jàmm.
مريض الباري لنصرة دينه وأبرز للجيل الجديد مثالا. So Shaykh Ibrahim is saying, I seek the satisfaction of the Creator for the victory of this deen, and I demonstrate to new generation an example. So here in this talk I want to concentrate on two topics, which is victory of this deen and an example which Shaykh Ibrahim has given to the new generation. First of all, let us talk about victory of this deen which he has embodiment. Deen is Islam, Iman and Ihsan. Shaykh Ibrahim, we know, once said, Shaykh Ibrahim once said that I have two sheikhs. First one is the Shaykh in Zahir, and the second one is Shaykh in Batin. The Shaykh in Zahir is Quran and Sunnah, which he said, there is no one in this world who can attain to what I have attained. So he reached the peak level of knowledge of Zahir, of Quran and Sunnah, to the level that he was a mujtahid of his own. And he got the greatest recognition of Shaykh al-Islam from the prestigious Al-Azhar University. So he learned, he taught, he started madrasas, he wrote about 75 books on various topics of religion. And he was a man of Quran. He studied Quran, he taught Quran, and his expertise in Quran and Arabic knowledge is something exceptional. Even the Arabians couldn't match to his level of expertise in Quran and Arabic. Secondly, his victory in Tariqah, in the world of Iman. He was known to be one who attained many chains of transmission in Tijani Tariqah, to the level that he attained the supreme position of Khilafah in Tijani Tariqah. And he also claimed the position of Sahib al-Faida. Through him, millions and millions of people came into this Islam and in this to this Tariqah. Now, when you look worldwide, about 90 to 95% of Muslims, 90 to 99% of Tijanis are from the chain of Maulana Shaykh Ibrahim Niass radiyallahu anhu. He established lots of zawiyas, and his zawiya here in Medina by Khawlak, he said it resembles that of Madinatul Munawwara in Zahir and Batin. And his victory in Haqiqah, he put forth a methodology, a method to take people to the station of Haqiqah and Marifah. And he gave it the name Tarbiyah. And through Tarbiyah, millions and millions of people could attain the knowledge of Allah, direct vision of Allah, and Marifah of Allah. He combined Sharia and Tariqah in a manner exceptional in the world, and no one could match the level of depth he had in the knowledge of Marifah and Haqiqah. Now, coming to the next part, he being an example to the new generation. First of all, let us talk about his traveling. Shaykh Ibrahim traveled worldwide for the spread of the religion. Initially, his travels were lonely, as in case of his trip to Nigeria in 1943, if my guess is right, and others. Later on, his popularity increased, and wherever he went, he attracted huge crowd. He visited most of the countries in Africa. He visited Saudi Arabia, UAE, Iraq, and many other Arab countries. He also visited China and Japan. He also visited India and Pakistan. Wherever he went, he held the banner of Islam and spread the message of Islam. This is an era of travel and tourism. Traveling has become easy, and we can get a flight and get to wherever we want in this planet. Shaykh Ibrahim gave the youth the best example to follow. He never discouraged tourism. Instead, he did the opposite. At the same time, he put religion and the spread of religion sole motive in all his expeditions. In an Indian Caroline context, we see thousands of youth making traveling their hobby and passion. Most of their purpose is not of much importance. Shaykh Ibrahim encourages people to travel, but only for the sake of Allah. On the other hand, we see Sufis who are only confined to their homes and solitude and never go to any expeditions. Shaykh Ibrahim has taken a middle ground on this. We can see Shaykh Ibrahim holding Quran and reciting it throughout his journey. He also doesn't compromise on his litanies and night prayers. At the same time, he is engaging with people and giving them guidance. Turning on to politics, Shaykh Ibrahim stood against terrorism. Shaykh Ibrahim said, I have traveled east and west to show the right way. My wish is the triumph of Islam, and I have refused war. My only desire is to guide the Muslim community toward the merciful God. You will not find someone who loves Muslims more than I. His stance was to obey rulers and stand with them to the maximum extent. But he was also brave to talk against rulers if they talked against the religion or crossed the path with him in practice of Islam. He had a say on politics of the country and voted for those who brought good for the Muslim community in general. He was against colonialism and voice for Africa and freedom. Shaykh Ibrahim had cordial ties with all major political leaders of the time. He used that relationship for the better leverage of Muslims. He also had close connection with Salafi leaders to the extent that they wondered how a scholar of excellence of Shaykh Ibrahim could follow a Sufi path. Unlike many Sufi scholars of 20th century, Shaykh Ibrahim had strong engagement with politics and power, but he never ever compromised on his deen. This is the best example for youth. Shaykh Ibrahim always stood for peace and avoided conflicts whenever he could. Nowadays, we live in an era of terrorism and conflict. Youth has perfect example in the conduct of Shaykh in this aspect. Regarding marriage, nowadays we see people less attached to man. Is woman disabled to compete with man in knowledge? Plenty of the daughters of and students of Shaykh Ibrahim competed with man, and many of them stood as teachers and even sheikhs, from whom many big learned men took guidance. Many children of Shaykh Ibrahim headed madrasas of Quran and religion knowledge. Some of them authored works in Arabic. Though some women have access to exoteric knowledge in Islam, rarely do we find women entering into exoteric sciences. Most of the women are denied access to the world of tariqah and access to haqiqah and ma'rifah. Shaykh Ibrahim made it an obligation for women to accept the tariqah and take the path of Allah under the hands of a knower of Allah. He even asked them to visit a sheikh even if they have to stand against their husbands and parents. Thus, billions of women took the journey of Allah and became the arifin of Allah. Some of them became sheikhs who themselves guided man to the ma'rifah of Allah. Most parents nowadays consider the consent of their female child in the matters, never consider the consent of female child in their matters of marriage. They take the advantage of some opinions of scholars of jurisprudence in this matter. But Shaykh Ibrahim made it clear that every parent has to take the permission and consent of their daughters when they are introducing a proposal of marriage to their daughters. Shaykh Ibrahim is found taking his daughters and wives on his world expeditions. By this, he is spreading a message of respecting the right of women and how we should treat our women. Talking about education, there are Sufis who discourage traditional method of learning. They give more importance to exoteric knowledge. Shaykh Ibrahim said, the guidance we seek in the path, straight path, is of two types. The one placed directly in the heart of the servant by means of inspiration, we call it ilmul ladunni. And the one gained by following the Prophet or Messenger of Allah or the scholars. This Shaykh Ibrahim not only encouraged exoteric knowledge but also encouraged exoteric knowledge. He wrote a book, Tafsirat al-Anam, talking about the superiority of knowledge and people of knowledge. There is an elaboration on importance of teaching and learning in that book. He also emphasized the importance of establishing madrasas to learn. There is another category of scholars who stood only for the traditional method of learning. They consider it only the knowledge and discouraged and negate the possibility of any other form of knowledge. Shaykh Ibrahim not only encouraged his students to seek direct knowledge of Allah, which is called ilmul ladunni, but also formulated a method of spiritual training through which every murid will be able to attain the knowledge of Allah. Respecting the scholars and shurafa. Scholars and shurafa, the family of Prophet ﷺ, are not given their due respect nowadays. They are mocked for the lack of material education and wealth. Shaykh Ibrahim gave us the best example by respecting all people of knowledge. He advised his students to respect all scholars regardless of the moral values which he asked them to leave it to Allah. He made it as a condition for muqaddams to respect scholars and students of knowledge, whoever they may be. He also had great respect for shurafa. He put them in front for their blessings. We can also see Shaykh Ibrahim taking photos in a century. I know I am from an Indian subcontinent. We see many scholars who are against taking photos. They issued fatwa which saying that photography is haram. In that time, Shaykh Ibrahim was taking photos and he considered it as a form of dawah. I'm concluding this speech. I'm not taking a lot of time because Shaykh Ibrahim has a say in everything, every facet of our life. Shaykh Ibrahim gave us an example, especially for the youth to follow. I wish that all of us, especially the youth of this community in this Africa and elsewhere, follow the example of Shaykh Ibrahim. May Allah give us tawfiq to spread the message of Shaykh Ibrahim to everyone so that they know him and understand him and follow his path. And may Allah make us a sabab for it and make it as a form of hidmah which Allah accepts from us. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.